Hello. Ugh. I always have the most graceful entrance, don't I? Ugh. I don't give myself enough space in these chairs. Welcome to Chicken Happy Hour at Cedar Woods Farm. Um, Today I come carrying a thing of tea because Carl is laying an egg at a very inopportune time. So anyway, how dare she? But she will probably join us whenever she gets finished with the real work. Welcome to the 61st show. I counted up. Can't believe it's been that many, but yeah, 61 shows, or 61 counting this one. And 1 year I think it was actually in August, the very first one I did last August. But anyway, kind of cool. So thank you if you've been with me from the start, or even if this is your very first show. I appreciate it. So we are still in the midst of National Bourbon Heritage Month. And so last time we made a bourbon drink. I've got a whole list of drinks, and I can't believe it's already almost mid-September. We've got to get busy. So today we're kind of doing an assortment today based around teas. Okay, so we're going to make a sweet tea and bourbon, which probably you've had. Certainly you've heard of it. I don't know that I've ever fixed it. I've heard of it, but I'm excited to try it. But then something I'm super intrigued about is so I was with a friend at a liquor store yesterday. This happens a lot. Total Wine and More. Hopefully you have one, in your neck of the woods. I love that place. They are just so friendly there. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's because I go there so much, but they're just super helpful. So anyway, yesterday we got into this conversation, and I was asking for ideas because I'm not a bourbon connoisseur. So I was saying, I've made the basics on the show, but give me something different. And one of them mentioned tea, like not just the sweet tea and bourbon, but he was talking about like chai tea or Earl Grey or, oolong, that kind of thing. And I was, you know, interested in that. And so I came home and started Googling that. And apparently there's this whole, I wouldn't call it a movement because I think it's, been around forever. But there's a whole thing about infusing your bourbon with different teas. And I just think that sounds fantastic. Um, I've never heard of it. I mean, I've infused vodka with pretty much everything, but I've just never thought about doing it with bourbon. Juju. So I wanted to just show you what I put together this morning. All right, stop. And then I thought maybe, if you've got bourbon around the house and you've got some different kinds of tea and you want to do this, start a batch up today, and then because you have to let this sit for days, even up to a week. So we can bust it all open and see, like if you try a different kind of tea, let me know if it's good and I'll tell you what I'm doing. But I just think that sounds really appealing to me. So let me tell you what I did, and I'll give you the recipe for this. The recipe, if you're going to just do one big batch, is 3 cups of bourbon and 4 tea bags. Okay, so if you're going to do like a big mason jar, just one batch, it's 3 and 4 tea bags. I decided, and plus since I haven't done this before, I don't know even if I'm going to like it, so I didn't want to waste a whole bunch of bourbon. I did 1.5 cup, 2 tea bags, 1.5 cup, 2 tea bags. So what I did was this is the chai, and I did 1 regular chai and 1 vanilla chai. I thought that would be kind of nice because bourbon often has a vanilla taste to it. I also put because chai tea can be a little spicy, so I put a cinnamon stick and 3 whole cloves in this one. So I really got fancy with this one. This one, and that is Winchester bourbon. It's 80 proof, I think. This one I did Earl Grey, just 2 bags of Earl Grey, nothing else. And that one is Kentucky Tavern bourbon. I think it's 90 proof. Oh, and I can smell that. It smells great. Okay, so, and that's it. I mean, you just put these in a cool, dry place. I did see one recommendation that maybe every day or 2 you might need to take a sip just to see how it's coming along, you know, make sure it's behaving itself. But yeah, you just let it sit for up to a week. So doesn't that sound good? Just sounds spicy and warm and autumnal. I mean, it's getting ready to be sweater weather, you know. We need to be coming up with some clever ideas. So, oh, and I brought these. I don't know if you've seen tea bags, but anyway, that's what I used. All right, so now let's talk about the sweet tea and bourbon. And of course, I've got to give a little history. The earliest recipe for sweet tea, which, you know, if you're from the South, you know we worship our sweet tea. But the first recipe appeared in a cookbook in 1879, and strangely, I thought it was strange, it actually used green tea, and not black tea. Black tea didn't come into the picture until World War II, when the access to green tea was kind of stopped with the Japanese invasion. So, and then ironically, it was the British, actually that is probably what you would assume, the British brought us black tea, and from India. And so really since the 1940s, it's been black tea that, you know, reigns supreme when you talk about tea, sweet tea. So, and I'm not going to tell you how to make sweet tea. Especially if you're from the South, you have a way you do it and you think it's the very best. I just steeped a large tea bag in a small raspberry zinger. Peach tea would be good to throw in. I just didn't have any, but you know, people love sweet peach tea, so that would be good. Lemon zinger would be good. I just like to add something else besides the black tea to give it just a little more flavor. So that's what this is. Quite a bit of sugar. Probably need to stir it. And then you need your bourbon. You need your cup. You need some ice. And I'm gonna taste it, and then I might put a little orange bitters on top because I'm gonna garnish it with orange and not lemon, which actually, you know, people insist on lemon in their tea, and that traditionally or originally, historically, that is not what you do. So I thought that was surprising because I just thought that lemon in tea had been around from the beginning. All right, so let's mix this up. What we're going to do is put our bourbon in our glass first, and we are using Old Forester, also a recommendation from the people at Total Wine, 100 proof. So we're going to put 2 ounces of this in our glass, and I need to get some ice in here. I know you can't see the table, so I'll hold up I've got a ton of these in the garden, which is interesting because I don't remember planting seeds for little pumpkins, but I don't know, I guess I did. We also had some huge pumpkins that I know we didn't plant, so I don't know if it's from the previous. Uh-oh, this is going to be bad. Oh, no. All right, hold on. Okay. Whew. I started to get a flush going there. I was like, dang it. Okay, that smells good. All right, so in your glass of ice, 2 ounces. And by the way, it is early again because I think it's going to rain again. But we're drinking tea, right? We're drinking sweet tea, so I just feel that it is all good. All right, and now we are going to just pour this over. Make sure my sugar hasn't settled. Oh, doesn't that look fine? Give this a little stir. And you know, I'm going to taste it first. Oh, woo! Pretty strong. It's good. Just put a dash in of orange bitters and put our orange in. I'm going to kind of express this a little bit. So my friend Lisa, who's been a bartender forever, told me, I may have already told you this, but she said to do it on this side. That's where the oils are. I had always done it on the pithy side, but it's the outside. All right, let me roll this back up. That is a fine morning drink. No, this would be great like on the patio, you know, reading a book or at a barbecue, setting with your chickens and emus, which they've all deserted me again, but that is really nice. Very nice. Yeah, bourbon sweet tea. Why haven't I had this before? Super good. I like this too. Old Forester. So let me tell you some of the other things that we're gonna do. I want to do. We have to do a Kentucky Mule, right, in the little copper cup. We have to do a mint julep, and if I had my wits about me, we would have done that last Friday or Saturday when it was the Derby, but we didn't. But we'll still do one. I've got mint. We're gonna do a Bailey's in bourbon, which everybody I mentioned that to says, ugh. But you know, I've read that that's the thing, and I think as a dessert drink, like I wouldn't want one of those right now, but you know, after dinner, like nighttime, that might be a good dessert drink. And then we're going to do a spiced bourbon pumpkin latte, because you know how this time of year everybody goes crazy about the pumpkin spice everything. And I like pumpkin spice. I mean, McDonald's has a cappuccino, and Starbucks does their pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice. The only problem with all that is there's no alcohol in it. So we're going to make one that has bourbon, and the recipe sounds fantastic. So in fact, we might need to do that one next. I'll go to the grocery tomorrow and get us the stuff. Okay, that is fantastic. You want to see the pigeons? They have grown. They have grown so much. They're going to be 3 weeks old. What, Sunday? Is that? No, that's not Carl. That's Carl D. All right. Let me show you. Everybody's very sedated today. Here are the baby pea chicks. Look how much they've grown. And then Bob is right out there. I mean, they're almost as big as the chickens now. And then this is the mom, dove pigeon. That's the male. And let's go in here and look. Oh, and I'll show you how the baby chickens. Oh, and where's Carl? That's Carl G. Oh, Carl! Did you lay it? Oh, Carl, that's good. That's a good girl. Give it to me. Carl, that is a fine egg. You missed the show, though. What are you doing, Carl G? Nice. Okay, put that there. Come on out, Carl. She's like, where'd my egg go? Okay, let me show you. So these little guys are doing great. The little Polish crested. They're loud, especially Erica Jane, that one. She just peeps all the time. She has a lot to say. All right, let me show you. Look. Hold on, let me turn this off. Look at these guys. Look at him just standing up. Hello. This one is not very talkative. This one, hey. Okay. Hi. What are you doing? Are you going to talk? Look how much they've grown. So this one's really getting his crest, which will make him look like Grandpa Munster. And I hope he's just going to have the black tail. His dad also has black on his head, but either way, he's going to be really pretty. Hey, little baby. Oh, they must have just been fed. Look how fat their little crops are. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So cute. So cute. Hey, buddy. So sweet. So I have spent a lot of time this week, hours, I guess, in this chair, just with these birds, the babies on me, in my lap, on my chest, under my neck, just because I really want them to be tame and, get used to me. I talked about that last time. So here's something I've read about pigeons, and I'll show you the Saxon parents up here. The black one is the dad. The one, this one is the female with brown. Oh, and look at the ring neck. Isn't he getting pretty? He is really pretty. So, but something about pigeons, I knew that they're highly intelligent, very trainable. They have saved people in wars and all that. I knew that, but apparently pigeons are the only, and this is amazing to me, they're the only non-mammal to have recognition, like mirror recognition, so they can look in a mirror and they know it's them. I didn't know, first of all, I didn't know that was such a big thing, but only mammals are able to do that, and pigeons. So, how cool is that? They can also recognize every letter of the alphabet. Like they've done so many, I guess, studies, so much research with pigeons. Um, and they can recognize things in pictures, like even they can differentiate people, two different people in a single photo, and they can tell the difference. So, anyway, just a little, that always scares me when that happens. It's one of the pheasants. Um, but I just thought that was pretty neat how smart they are. So now I'm a little intimidated. I'm like, oh, what are these pigeons thinking? So I need to look up like how do you train them to do whatever it is that you might want your pigeons to do, because they're so smart. So let me show you this little crew over here, and then I'll let you go to start your weekend. Thank you for joining. And I just thought this was cute with the cinnamon pheasant, peacocks, emus. The emus got into the mud yesterday. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you soon for another bourbon drink.